Hotels are meant to be places of comfort and relaxation, where weary travelers can rest their heads after a long day. However, not all hotels are as welcoming as they seem. The Mizpah Hotel in Tonopah, Nevada is one such place that has gained notoriety for its terrifying encounters and paranormal activity. Located in the heart of the town, the Mizpah Hotel was first built in 1907 by two wealthy businessmen who saw potential in the growing mining industry. It quickly became a popular spot for miners and travelers passing through. However, it wasn't until many years later that the hotel's dark secrets started to surface. So let's explore some of the true horror stories that have taken place within the walls of the Mizpah Hotel. Before jumping to the haunted stories, let's discover the history of this hotel. Before the historic hotel was even built, the Mizpah Saloon had already served customers since 1907. George Wingfield, Cal Brower, George Nixon, and Bob Govin, all finance experts in Nevada, supplied the funds necessary for the hotel's construction. And guess what? The brilliant architectural mind of George Holdsworth from Reno conjured up the hotel. Not only did his financiers back the hotel, but they also invested in various other businesses and mining companies in Tonopah. The hotel's distinctive design included a stone facade adorning its sides and rear. The Brower-Govin block, which served as the original Mizpah Hotel, is still linked to the hotel. The buildings are interconnected via a wooden staircase, and proudly, the hotel was the first in Tonopah to have an elevator. Interesting tidbits revolve around the Mizpah Hotel. Legend says that Wyatt Earp ran the Mizpah Saloon, Jack Dempsey safeguarded the premises, and Hollywood mogul Howard Hughes married Jean Peters here. What a whirlwind of events. Albeit, some argue that the timeline doesn't quite match up with the lives of these individuals, you can still find a Jack Dempsey room and a Wyatt Earp bar at the hotel. The Mizpah's ownership changed over time, with its last owner being Frank Scott from Las Vegas, who bought it in 1979. Scott pumped modern amenities into the hotel, while simultaneously keeping its vintage charm intact, something that initially attracted him and his guests to the place. The renovation was hefty, costing $4 million, and took 2.5 years to wrap up. The hotel went through a period of dormancy post-1999. It was closed and silent, and it was visited only by ghosts rumored to inhabit the Mizpah. However, the silence broke in 2011 when Fred and Nancy Klein of Klein Cellars in Sonoma took over, renovating and reopening it to the public in August of the same year. The hotel now offers 47 rooms, a bar, and 2 eating joints, and there's even a casino on the cards. Nowadays, guests pour in from all corners of Nevada to visit the area, with ghost hunters hoping to encounter the peculiar essence of the Clown Motel and Tonopah Cemetery. Among the more fascinating features is that the hotel is said to be inhabited by the Lady in Red and other mysterious entities. According to legend, this woman was a prostitute who was brutally murdered by a jealous lover in room 502. Her spirit is said to roam the halls and rooms of the hotel, especially room 502, where guests have reported strange occurrences such as feelings of being watched, objects moving on their own, and even physical encounters with an unknown entity. But it's not just room 502 that has seen paranormal activity. Guests have also reported seeing a woman in a red dress wandering the hallways and disappearing into thin air, strange noises and voices coming from empty rooms, and ghostly apparitions in various parts of the hotel. Some guests have even claimed to have seen the spirit of a former miner named William Red Roberts, who died in an accident while working at a nearby mine. He is said to haunt the elevator area and has been known to interact with guests by pressing buttons for their designated floor. The Mizpah Hotel also offers ghost tours, during which visitors can hear more chilling stories about its haunted past and try to communicate with any spirits that may be present. Now, let's dive into some of the haunting happenings that have made the Mizpah Hotel infamous. Let me begin by saying that I don't really subscribe to the idea of supernatural entities. Ghosts, otherworldly creatures, and phantom figures don't rattle me. Therefore, when our car approached the majestic Mizpah, amidst the delicate snowflakes brushing against our dancing windshield wipers, my main worry was about not slipping and falling in the icy parking lot, rather than fretting about eerie beings from an unseen world. My family, my lovely wife Amber, our 2 wonderful daughters and a son, along with Amber's faithful service dog Merlin, all hail from the desert land of Las Vegas, so the snowfall was quite a novel experience for us. However, thanks to the considerate folks at the Mizpah, who had the foresight to salt their parking lot, We managed to bring our crew and luggage inside without any hiccups. Just to put things into perspective, the dignified Mizpah is a piece of history nestled in the heart of Tonopah, Nevada. The hotel first opened its doors to patrons in 1907, riding the wave of the silver boom. Unfortunately, post-Silver Rush, the hotel saw a steady decline, falling into a state of neglect due to lack of use. The beautiful Mizpah was finally compelled to close its doors around the turn of the millennium in 1999 or 2000. However, in 2011, the Mizpah Hotel reopened after undergoing a major renovation. It was during this time that the hotel's supernatural stories started to surface. Former employees and guests began sharing their paranormal experiences, from strange noises and cold spots to full-blown apparitions. One particularly terrifying story involves a young woman who stayed in room 502 of the Mizpah Hotel. She reported feeling a presence in her room every night and waking up to find her belongings moved or missed. One morning, she found scratch marks on her back, as if someone had dragged their nails over her skin. The woman checked out immediately and refused to ever step foot in the hotel again. However, perhaps one of the most well-known and chilling stories from the Mizpah Hotel involves a couple staying in room 502 during a mining convention. One night, they were awoken by loud noises coming from their bathroom. When they went to investigate, they found that all of the furniture had been rearranged and placed upside down in the bathroom. They immediately left the hotel and never returned. There was also a report of a ghostly figure, believed to be the spirit of a former housekeeper, appearing in the hallways and disappearing through the walls. Guests have also reported hearing disembodied voices whispering their names. It's not just guests who have had eerie experiences at the Mizpah Hotel. Former employees have shared stories of items being moved or thrown by unseen forces, doors opening and closing on their own, and even having their hair pulled while working alone in certain areas of the hotel. A couple of years back, during a journey through Nevada's wilderness, we made a pit stop at the Mizpah Hotel in Tonopah. We sneakily peeked inside from a side door. Rumors of a ghostly lady in red lingering on the 5th floor have circulated, and we heard about it. The lady's story varies from her being a lady of the night killed in anger to a performer who collapsed on stage and never woke up. Eerie stories of 2 minor ghosts who haunt the building's basement also swirled. We stood outside the closed hotel that day, stealing glances from any possible slits, especially towards the 5th floor and the unique sign on top. We yearned to explore inside, but the opportunity didn't present itself. Despite reaching out to the real estate agent managing the property, we couldn't get approval to enter. Jumping ahead 2 years, we returned to Tonopah for a special event before the hotel's grand reopening. This time, we were invited guests. Now we could saunter about the entire hotel, a big contrast from our first visit, and we were thrilled. This event was courtesy of Virginia Ridgway and author Janice Oberding, and supported by the new hotel owners, Fred and Nancy Klein. The guest list included paranormal and history buffs from all over. We were handed keys to our hotel rooms upon reaching our hotel, and thus our exciting weekend began. We had ample time to wander around in daylight and after dark. Staff shared spine-chilling encounters with the supernatural, like a ghostly little girl being sighted in the elevator. Our curiosity led us to primarily the 5th floor and basement. Some intriguing happenings took place in the basement. An investigator felt an indescribable force charging at him, followed by an unaccountable whisper. An incident occurred where a medium communicated with spirits when the elevator started moving on its own. None of us had pressed any buttons. We also took part in an official paranormal investigation set up by Ridgway. Several guests equipped with meter readers and cameras listened to unexplained knocking sounds near room 502. We asked questions like, "Are you male? Are you female? Will you knock once for yes and twice for no?" Throughout this guessing game, we heard other knocks nearby, but not from the room we were trying to communicate with. This experience left us spellbound and opened our minds to the possibility of the paranormal. We ventured to an annex building on the hotel grounds during our stay. Previously a bowling alley and a pub, it was no stranger to ghostly happenings. A worker narrated a colleague's experience of untraceable sounds from the basement at night, and an invisible force pushing him, which led him to quit. We explored the basement, at times thinking we heard childlike voices. On rethinking, we attributed the sounds to the street noise, but it was in the upstairs pub that we experienced our own eerie encounter. As we walked around taking pictures, one of us saw a shadowy figure out of the corner of our eye. Initially brushing it off as a trick of the mind, we continued exploring. But then, we saw something move again. This time, all three of us saw it. We called out, thinking someone had entered the room, but no one responded. Suddenly, an intense cold enveloped us, and we heard footsteps approaching us. Terrified, we ran back to our group, which was waiting for us downstairs. After regaining our composure, we asked if anyone had followed us up, or heard footsteps. To our shock, everyone in the group claimed to have heard and seen unexplainable things throughout the night. This confirmed our belief that the Mizpah Hotel is indeed haunted by restless spirits. A writer from vvdailypress.com decided to visit Mizpah and had his heart set on the Lady in Red room. Unfortunately, he was told it was booked out for a year. Yes, it's that popular. Early the next morning, he snuck into room 504 just for some photos. It was barely 6 a.m. He took the photos, but things got a little weird afterward. His screen turned blue after just a few seconds of viewing them. He also shot a wee video. And guess what? There was a mysterious green rug-like thing at the bottom of the door, and a loud crash could be heard that he didn't register while recording. Now, don't get spooked. All the spirits at Mizpah are good-natured. The scariest thing you might experience is a bit of difficulty sleeping, given the feeling that you're being watched. However, many guests have reported a calming presence in their rooms and hallways. There's even a belief that the spirits protect the hotel from harm. One day, a group of friends decided to take a trip to Tonopah and stay at the Mizpah Hotel. They were skeptical about the paranormal rumors surrounding the hotel, but wanted to experience it for themselves. As they checked into their rooms, one friend noticed that the room key had 502 engraved on it. Excitedly, she shared with her friends that this was rumored to be one of the most haunted rooms in the hotel. That night, as they settled in for bed, they heard strange noises coming from outside their window. One friend even felt someone sitting down on their bed, but when they turned around, no one was there. The next morning, they asked the hotel staff about any paranormal activity in their room. To their surprise, the staff confirmed that room 502 was known for unexplained occurrences, such as cold spots and objects moving on their own. When they checked out, the friend with room key 502 decided to keep it as a souvenir. But later that night, she received a call from her friends, who were still at the hotel. They told her that they heard a loud knocking coming from their door, and when they opened it, no one was there. The only explanation? The ghost of room 502 follows its key back to its rightful owner. In addition to these chilling stories, many guests have also reported seeing apparitions, hearing unexplainable noises, and feeling a sudden change in temperature. Some even claim to have captured ghostly figures in their photos taken at the hotel. My husband and I stayed at the Mizpah Hotel for our honeymoon. We were excited to stay in such a historic and reportedly haunted hotel. On our first night, we had trouble sleeping as we both felt like someone was watching us. At one point, I woke up feeling a cold hand on my shoulder, but when I turned around, I saw no one. The next day, we took part in the official paranormal investigation led by Ridgway himself. As we walked around with meter readers and cameras, we heard knocking sounds and saw orbs of light in multiple rooms, including room 413. Later that night, as we were sitting in the lobby, we saw a woman in a long white dress walking down the hall toward room 413. We asked the front desk about it, and they told us that the room used to be occupied by a lady who committed suicide after being jilted at the altar. On our last night, we decided to stay up late and see if we could experience any more paranormal activity. At around 2 a.m., we heard loud noises coming from outside our room, and when my husband went to check, he saw the same woman in white standing at the end of the hallway before disappearing into thin air. So these were just a few of the many paranormal experiences that guests have had at the Mizpah Hotel. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more haunted tales. And if you're feeling brave enough, why not book a room at the Mizpah Hotel and see for yourself? Just remember to keep an open mind, because you never know what ghostly encounters might await you at this haunted hotel in Tonopah.